Elise is a little girl. She is 6 years old and loves nature. In her yard is a big tree. One day she decided to climb this tree. Elise went outside and looked into the big tree as it loomed above her. She was excited. It was so early in the morning her mom and dad were still asleep. Elise rubbed the night away from her eyes and grabbed the lowest branch and started climbing. Elise climbed and climbed and climbed. For hours it seemed. The more she climbed, the more Elise thought about the tree. It wasn't really that big, was it? It seemed like she'd been climbing forever. She looked down and couldn't see the ground anymore. She started to be scared. She was really high. Elise took a big breath and looked back up to continue climbing when she saw a blue bird. "Why, hello over there!" the blue bird shouted to her, waving a wing. The blue bird was holding a small bag of worms. "You can talk?" Elise asked the beautiful bird. "Of course I can. Would you like some fresh worms?" the bird chirped. "Oh no, thank you. I must keep climbing." Elise smiled and continued climbing up the tree. She wanted to reach the very top. "It was nice talking to you," the bluebird shouted after Elise. "You too," Elise responded. She continued to climb and continued to see even stranger things. On one branch, which she rested on, Elise found a bunny wearing a top hat. He continued to shout nonsense and jump around, so she left him alone. As she climbed more, she missed home and the ground. She looked down and still saw nothing but the tree. Little Elise sighed and kept climbing her big tree. She climbed higher before meeting a tall monkey wearing a bow tie, enjoying some tea with an owl, a cardinal, and a hummingbird. She walked along the branch to the tea party and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Monkey. I think I'm lost in your tree." The monkey looked up at Elise and howled. "A visitor! Come, have some tea," it said. "No thanks, I'd just like to go back home. Can one of you bring me back down to my home?" Elise asked. The cardinal croaked. "I can't carry one as heavy as you." The owl shook his head. "I'm sorry, dearie, but I cannot help you either." The owl had a fancy British accent. Elise looked to Monkey, who walked over to her. "Where is your home now?" Elise pointed below her. "There's a house all the way down there, sir. I climbed up the tree and got myself lost." The monkey nodded and grabbed Elise's hand as he started swinging from branch to branch. "Just down there, you said?" The little girl nodded and Monkey continued swinging around. Elise giggled as the ride was fun. As they neared the ground, the monkey slowed down and gently eased the little girl to the ground. "Come join us sometime for tea if you'd like," the monkey said to her and started swinging back up the tree. Elise sat there amazed for a second before responding, "I will." The little girl walked back up the porch and walked into her home. As soon as she stepped in, Elise smelled the familiar smell of bacon and eggs. Her mom was making breakfast in the kitchen. Elise ran into the kitchen and hugged her mom, who was very surprised at the very sudden hug. "Why, hello," Elise's mom said. She sounded like the bluebird. "Crazy morning?" Her mom flipped an egg and plopped it on a plate and slid it to Elise's spot on the table. Elise sat down next to the warm breakfast and responded, "You wouldn't imagine," as she smiled and dug into the food. To this day, Elise has never told anyone about her adventure in the tree and all the tea parties. She still continues to have tea parties with the silly monkey and all the others in the tree.